So what are the top 10 best old world tarantula species for the beginner? Well, keep watching to find out. Welcome to the Tarantula Collective. My name is Richard, and if you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to click the notification bell to turn on all notifications so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. Now, I really enjoy making these top 10 videos, and you guys seem to really enjoy watching them. And this topic has been asked time and time again from many of you all down below in the comments of this video. So let's jump right in. Now, number 10 is one of the most colorful species of tarantula in the hobby. Now, this is a terrestrial tarantula that will burrow a lot when it's younger and definitely enjoys a little more damp substrate. The husbandry requirements aren't that difficult, and in my experience, this isn't a very defensive tarantula. And when it's out on display, it is mind-blowingly gorgeous. It has a velvety texture and kind of a pill-shaped abdomen, which really sets it apart from a lot of other species of tarantula. And this bright orange beauty is none other than the Philippine tangerine tarantula. Now, number 9 is from one of my favorite genus of old world tarantulas. And even though this tea can be a little fast, in my experience, it's really not that bad. Now, this species of tarantula comes from Africa, and though it does enjoy having plenty of substrate to burrow, it's also going to put up some amazing webs in its enclosure. So if you want a beautiful tea that does some awesome webbing, then I highly suggest this species for you. The number 9 tarantula on this list is the Harpoctera cafarina, or the amber baboon tarantula. Number 8 is an arboreal old world tarantula that comes from Malaysia. This is truly a gem in anyone's collection, but my experience with this species has been that it's fairly docile. Now, I would not suggest handling it or anything like that, that's not what I'm saying. But when it's come to rehousing, feeding, maintaining the enclosure, it always seems to want to retreat and hide, and has never given me any kind of threat pose or tried to bolt out of its enclosure. So number 8 is the Malaysian earth tiger, or the Omathymus chiodeti. Now, number 7 is a baboon tarantula that comes from Africa. It's become very popular in the hobby now that people have realized that it can actually snatch fish out of water, leading some people to make enclosures for this species that has a small pond where they can put a few tiny goldfish and hope that the tarantula will eat them. This tea grows to almost 6 inches in size and has a beautiful reddish-brown color. Of course, I'm talking about the Cameroon red baboon tarantula, or the H. gigas. Number 6 is a gorgeous arboreal tarantula from India, and probably one of the most popular species of old world tarantulas out there. At one time, this beauty commanded $500–600 for a spiderling, but now can easily be found anywhere between $50 to $100. Though some people say it has the most potent venom of any of the species in this genus, my experience with this tarantula is that it's fairly docile. Again, I would not suggest handling an old world tarantula, but as far as rehousing and feeding, I've had no issues with mine. And if you're gonna get a first old world tarantula, you should definitely get one that you really want to keep and that is gorgeous to show off to your friends. So the number 6 old world tarantula for a beginner, I'm saying, is the Poecilotheria metallica, or the Goody sapphire ornamental. Now, Now the number 5 species hails from Mozambique and is a fossorial or obligate burrower. This was among one of the first old world tarantulas I ever got. I think it was this and a few other that I've had on the list, and this tarantula has never given me any issues. Now I did get it as a spiderling and have raised it successfully all the way through to an adult. Though it does make a very deep burrow that it spends a lot of time hidden down in, it will come all the way up to the mouth and kind of hang the top half of its body out, and on many occasions I've caught it walking around its enclosure. It's a beautiful gold color with this dark pattern on its carapace and would definitely make a great addition to anybody's collection. So number 5 is the Augocephalus ezendami, or the Mozambique gold baboon. Now number 4 on this list is yet another African fossorial tarantula that I received at the same time I got the last species. So this was certainly one of my first old worlds. This is not an extremely colorful tarantula. In fact, it kind of just has this shiny brownish blackish stripe pattern, but it does web up the mouth of its enclosure and the whole area around it very intricately, which is always a beautiful thing to see. But what sets this species apart is the huge unicorn-like horn it has on the back of its carapace. So number 4, of course, is the Ceratogaius darlingi, or the rear horn baboon tarantula. So for number 3, it's a species that I'm sure I'm going to catch some flack about. Now, not everybody has had the same experience with this species as me. Despite the bad rap, mine has been fairly docile. Again, don't handle this tarantula. It is definitely not recommended. But I believe if you set it up in an enclosure that's optimal and provides plenty of places for it to retreat and hide, you're not going to have to worry too much about its defensive behavior. Even though this tarantula has a bad rap, I think that if you give it enough substrate to burrow, a nice large hide, and maybe put some branches up that it can web and make its intricate tunnels, you're not going to have issues with it giving you a threat pose or slapping, as you might if you just put it into a basic enclosure without many places to web up and hide. And of course, the personality will differ between specimens of the same species, but this is such an inexpensive, beautiful, and highly sought after tarantula, I felt I couldn't make a top 10 list for beginners without including this species. That and it's orange, and I'm orange, so it just holds a special place in my heart. So number 3 is a Tetranoculus murinus, or the orange baboon tarantula, commonly known as the OBT. Now, number 2 is a species of tarantula that comes from a very unique location here on Earth. In fact, I made an episode of Tarantula Tuesday completely devoted to this species. Of all the old world tarantulas I have in my collection, this one has got to be the most docile. Again, it's an old world tarantula though, so it's not a good idea to try and handle. I mean, come on. But while shooting this video, I never received a threat pose or any kind of defensive behavior. I think I was more stressed out than that tarantula was. And the cool thing about this species is they can be kept communally. In fact, I have a communal right over here, and they are thriving. With its beautiful blue legs and white body, it may be a little expensive, but definitely a great species if you're looking to get your first old world tarantula. So number 2 is the Monosotropus balfouri, or the Socotra Island blue baboon. And finally, the #1 best old world tarantula for beginners. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure you hit that like button so future keepers can find this information further on down the line. And if you want to support the channel, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Now, if you like my hoodie or you want any Tarantula Collective gear, be sure to check out the tarantulacollective.com. I'll have a link to it down below in the description. There you will find all kinds of Tarantula Collective merchandise, as well as care sheets, links to all my social media, and other links and resources that you'll find very helpful in the tarantula hobby. And while you're down there, there's all kinds of other information in the description of my videos, from the music you're hearing, to the enclosures behind me, to the cameras I'm using. I've got it all linked down below, so make sure you check that out. So the #1 species is a tarantula that's really dear to my heart. For many years, I really wanted one of these tarantulas, but they were just priced a little out of my range. Right now, I've got 2 in my collection, and they're definitely species that I always show off anytime someone comes by to visit. The reason I like this species so much is because they do some amazing webbing, and mine almost are always sitting right out on top. They have a very active feeding response, and if you watched my communal rehousing video, you will see just how simple it was to get them from one enclosure to the other. They may occasionally give me a threat pose, and they are a little fast, but there is no tarantula out there like them. With that bright gold and blue coloration, you just can't go wrong with this species. Though they may not be the most docile species on the list, I really feel like they're the most beautiful, the easiest to rehouse, and the most fun to watch. And I think part of getting into old world tarantulas isn't just about getting the easiest species to keep, but it's also important to get a species that you're really going to enjoy taking care of and watching. So the #1 species is the golden blue leg baboon. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to support the channel, make sure you share and subscribe. If you want to take your support to the next level, I do have a Patreon community linked down below, or you can just hit that join button down below this video and become a member here on YouTube. I upload new episodes of Tarantula Tuesday every Tuesday, so I hope to see you back. Now, this was just the top 10 list for beginner old world tarantulas, but stay tuned because very soon I'll be uploading a list of my top 10 all-time favorite old world tarantulas. Well, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know which species you think I left off my list or what you would have had as #1. Hopefully I'll get to talk to some of you down below in the comments, but if not, I will see you next Tuesday.
Oh, what you looking at?